Hi guys, this film is called Feelings and Emotions After Psychiatric Medication, so once stopping lithium. Now I would say that the first kind of period of not being on those medications anymore, I think it takes time, obviously, to readjust to this new way of kind of feeling and being. And I would say that at times it was probably a bit overwhelming and I wasn't quite sure what to do with my new feelings and emotions because, well, I haven't said that, but it was, you kind of feel more open, I suppose, maybe more raw. People can describe it like that. Like things can touch you more deeply and more quickly. Because you have that drug taken off, you've got this. You don't have that kind of safety net or that layer of fogginess or that kind of dampened down mood stabilizer. That's what lithium is. So when things come up, it might kind of hit you a little bit stronger than it would otherwise, and yeah, so for me, it wasn't something that was scary. It was interesting to uncover. But at the same time, I realised that I had a lot of things to uncover still and a lot of things to learn about myself and lots of things to maybe discuss with my husband or different loved ones in my family to kind of, I don't know, work out this new Joanna that I was feeling. And I was also going through a period of time in my life when I was going into the Lyme's disease, and there was a lot of pain involved with that, and a lot of physical difficulties. So maybe without the lithium, that kind of made it even more intense. Maybe if I'd stayed on the lithium, it wouldn't have been so intense. I don't know how it would have changed that. I don't have experience of both, so I can't say. But yeah, so that was pretty traumatic at times and very difficult to deal with. Let me just take a pause. Around the same time, I was also doing one-on-one therapy with a kind of alternative therapist who was, he could shift muscles, bones, but also energy, and in a kind of, way that a normal osteopath wouldn't. I have very specific, detailed commentary about what those sessions were like a week after or something. I literally did films based around those one-on-one treatments and what it brought out in me. So you can see that in great detail if you're interested. I'll pop it up. So yeah, and there were around that time there were moments when I had some really, really strong emotional kind of sensations that I would feel around my heart, or what other places in my body. It could kind of come up anywhere really, but I was just remembering one particular thing there was like really painful in the heart. And I'm going to do a whole film very soon, in fact it might be the next one, about how to release feelings and emotions that are stuck or hidden inside your body. And I've used all of these techniques that I'm going to comment about. So all of, different things, different ones that seem to kind of take your fancy, you can try out if you feel like you need to release any emotional kind of hidden things in your body. And there was another time when, with this specific person that I would think of, that whenever I thought about that person, I'd get this kind of electric shock feeling that would go all the way from the top of my body down to the ground. It would just go whoosh really fast, and it wasn't a thought about that person or around a topic relating to that person. I would literally just have I'd literally just think that person, just like that, and then I'd get this feeling, and so that was really intense, and I was like, what am I going to do with that? This feels like really overwhelming, really strong. You know, I'm not even really thinking anything about this person. It's just like, it's just instant. What can I do with that? And in time, that dissipated and changed. And what I would say is that even though things might be difficult now, or there are times in the future that you might go through that are really difficult in relation to feelings and emotions, but it's all transitory, and things always come and go. There always is a time when things change. Things never stay still. There is always change. So you're kind of flowing through these kind of ups and downs. And I still like to remember that, because if you're going through like a difficult patch, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going through this thing right now, and it's just a flow, and I'm going to go on to the other side, and things will feel different. And every time you have an emotional release, it's kind of in that moment it's difficult, but then afterwards you feel like you can take a deeper breath. It's like a breath of fresh air. There's a lightness. Some of the weight's kind of been lifted off your shoulders. There's less pressure maybe in your head. You feel a more of a maybe more of a sense of joy, and it depends how much other stuff is lingering around, and how deep and how heavy your emotional baggage is. But the more layers and the more depths that you get through, the better you'll feel. And I guess that's just like something to keep in mind, is that the more you work on all of this stuff, the more you can become like a happy, joyful human being that just sees more beauty, feels more pleasant generally, can have less kind of bogged down thoughts or feelings that are difficult, and you can go about your life more flowing, lighter. Talking to other people is kind of, I don't know, it's easier. You don't have like loads of baggage and shit to go along with your conversations, and it's just, yeah, so much better. and now I am at a place, so this is after psychiatric medication, obviously. I've been off it, what is it now? It's September, October. It's halfway through October, so August, September, October. A year and 2 months I've been off the medication, and now I do have thoughts. I have a lot less thoughts, and when I do think about stuff, it's pretty light, and it's not something that I cling on to or hold on to. Like, for me, thoughts aren't important or interesting or necessary to live, and and sometimes some thoughts are kind of a bit stronger than others, and they're usually ones that I put into action. So it might be like a creative thought, or something that I know I want to develop or change or progress within my life, or it's like something that I really need to say to someone, or something I want to do and put into action with my business or with my family, and so I'll express that thought. I'll say it verbally, or I'll do something physically to act out that thought that I had, and then your thinking mind is actually being useful, and you're using it as a tool rather than as this unnecessary, boring, sometimes very destructive chat that you've got going on in your head. And as soon as you have an awareness of what's going on the inside with your thoughts, then you have, well, I already said the word awareness, but when you become aware, then you have choice. You have choice whether you carry on that train of thought, or whether you just kind of let it pass, and you don't need to pick it up again. You know, you don't need to kind of hold on to it and think, okay, well, that bit's interesting, or I need to work on that. Oh yeah, so, you know, maybe I'll write it down and I'll make it important and keep thinking about that. And you know, or the thing is, if you do write it down, then maybe you can do something about it, and then create change through action, and then your thought has been useful. Otherwise, if you just keep going over and playing the same record in your brain, then that's not. It's basically destructive, and it's tiring, and it takes up a lot of your energy, and you know, life can be used for much more interesting, productive things than thinking and getting tired with that. You know, you could be going for a walk, or sitting on a swing and having fun with your child, or going and dancing with them, or making a lovely meal for your family, or having a lovely bath and reading a book, and being able to concentrate on things for longer periods of time, and enjoy having that focused attention on something and not always being distracted by your train of thought. So I kind of digressed quite a lot there with the whole feelings and emotions thing, but I would say that it kind of went from a bit overwhelming and really difficult, to really kind of enjoying the fact that I can connect with those parts of me and be able to work on them, and to be able to kind of release them and to move forward in my life, and to kind of that my feelings and emotions don't get on top of me, and that if I feel something coming up, I can deal with it much more quickly. It doesn't hang around, because I know what it's telling me, and you know, I can talk about it with someone, use non-violent communication methods if I need to, or just now I have the confidence just to be open with whoever, and to sorry, the noise is distracting me. Yeah, to just basically move on with that. So I'm in a completely different place now with my feelings and emotions than I was before, and it's very positive. And I just hope that you guys out there are working on these things, so that you guys can have a better life, a better, just because a good life comes from inside of you, not from external things. So if you can make the inside of you good, then your surroundings and the people you come into contact with, it's also going to have that kind of positive bouncing off effect with other people. So if you're frustrated or angry or sad or whatever, it's gonna like rub off on other people. It's gonna you know, make your life feel like that, and if you can move away from those more difficult or negative feelings and emotions, then isn't that all the better for you and for everyone else? Yeah. I'd love your thoughts on this kind of thing. Yeah, I guess some of you might think, oh yeah, but you don't know the past that I've had, and you don't know how difficult my upbringing was, or you know, I think most of us have had things in our past that we've had to deal with, that are difficult. So obviously some of us have it to varying degrees than others, but yeah, it's all possible. It's all possible. it's possible to get through to the other side and get to a good place where you can flow easily with your ups and downs in your life, and it's just like, yeah, it's much easier. I hope that wasn't too garbled and long-winded for you, and that you somehow got to the end of this. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.